Yes, yes. How's everybody doing? It is Tuesday. Nick Harkson here. Touchdown Detroit Lions over on Syndicate Sports Detroit. Rough weekend. Rough Sunday. Rough Monday with some news as well. But while we're letting some people get in here, I'm going to try and keep this on a positive note to start. And let's talk about that Barry Sanders statue, right? That thing is beautiful. I watched the whole ceremony. It was great. Statue is a work of art. Great job by the artist. Looks amazing, and nobody, well deserving, and nobody better deserves a statue of them in front of Ford Field than Barry Sanders. Brought back a lot of memories watching some of the people that were there. Wayne Fonts was there. But yeah, it was a great ceremony. Positive, news to start this segment. And I think Megatron might be next to get a statue in front of Ford Field as well, especially with their relationship getting better and whatnot. But yeah, how we doing? Let me know what's going on. I see people in here getting in the comments. What's up, Robin's Nest? Yeah, this one's going to be a venting and healing session, of course, for sure. What's going on, Grit? Shadow, how you do? Shadow Viper, good to see you back in here. John Peterson, what's up? You are correct. Yeah, let's get into it. Not the outcome any of us were looking for. I wasn't expecting it. We lost to the Seattle Seahawks 37-31 in overtime. I predicted we would win 31-17. Got the numbers a little bit wrong, you know what I mean. But Grit's down here talking back and forth saying Aaron Glenn got fired. Thought I was going to say that. That definitely would be positive. Yes, we'll get into some Aaron Glenn talk as well. But yeah, we lost to the Seahawks, unfortunately, 37-31. And this is the third time Dan Campbell has lost to Pete Carroll and the Seahawks in his 3 years here in Detroit. Pete Carroll's just got DC's number. And unfortunately, we have to play the Seahawks again next year because the NFC North is playing the NFC West. It's at home again. But, my God, we need a year away from the Seahawks. They not only beat us, but beat us up pretty bad as far as injuries go as well, as we all know, and we'll get into that. But, yeah, they whooped up on our defense once again, getting a total of 393 yards. The last few years, giving up 555 yards last year, and the year before that it was like 400 and something. So it's just insane how we're letting Geno Smith and the Seattle Seahawks do this to us every single year. And I thought we were going to dominate, especially since they had two offensive tackles out. So I thought Hutch was going to cook. I thought our defense was going to do much better, get a lot of pressure, get some sacks in plural. But no, we get one sack, and it took us 13 seconds to get that sack, and it comes from Alex Anzalone. Where the heck is the pass rush? Where's our captain, Charles Harris? He was nowhere to be found. James Houston, of course, gets hurt. He's going to IR. That's terrible news. He's one of our top pass rushers, or was. And he's going to be out 8 to 10 weeks is what they're saying. He's got a fractured ankle. And it happened on a kickoff. So that's even worse. A lot of people want to get rid of kickoffs. After that injury, I'm all for it. Get rid of the kickoff. I don't care. It's an exciting play it is, when we return them. But we can't afford to get our some of our top pass rushers hurt on a kickoff. It's insane. And, Hutch was out there. He was doing what he could. He was getting held a lot, especially on the last play of the game. That was blatant. I don't think it came down to that play, though. I mean, obviously we lost after they scored there. But, yeah, Hutch was getting held all day. He was putting some pressure on Geno. But if you want to be an elite pass rusher in this league, you go out there and you get sacks and you wreak havoc when the offensive line has their starting offensive tackles out for the game. I'm so disappointed in this defensive line. Now, obviously, Pascal makes a huge difference. He was gone. but he's always hurt. So, I'm getting fed up with Pascal right now as well. I'm not going to lie. I'm a little upset today, if you can't tell. But, Hutch, we need more out of you. We need way more out of the defensive line in general. What was once considered a deep edge group there is now, little to nothing. And what we have is proven to not be much anyways. Hutch is consistently working hard. He's in the quarterback's face, but we need more. We need more production. We need to get more violent. We need more guys to step it up. And I see some people in here saying we need to go out and make a move and make some trades to help out that defensive line. John Peterson says Lions need a pass rush. I agree. Robin's Nest also agrees. We definitely need to go out and try and make something happen. Shadow Viper thinks that Chase Young or Brian Burns would dramatically improve the pass rush, and I would have to agree. Now, I don't know what we would have to give up, and I don't know if that's even a possibility anymore, especially with Washington now that they're 2-0. Before the season started, we had a chance, and it would have been a lot cheaper to go out and get them. Now they're 2-0. Now they're looking a lot better. They believe in themselves. The defense is pretty decent. I think it's going to be a long shot to go out and get a Chase Young, but we need to make something happen. But where's Charles Harris? He's the team captain. Not seeing him out there. Not like it. And, Aaron Glenn, is he on the hot seat already to start out this year? I would say yes. We cannot have another slow start to our defense this year. Last year was pathetic how bad we were until the end. It was atrocious. It was embarrassing to be a Lions fan. It wasn't. I'm a Lions fan through and through, and I'll always rep them no matter how we're doing. But, just that defense was so terrible last year, and I do not want to go back to that. Now, I don't think that we're that bad right now, but we need to get it together. We can't have another slow start. And if this happens a few more games, maybe it's time to move on. I know AG and DC are buddies, and maybe I'm hitting the panic button a little too soon because I'm not there yet, actually. I'm not trying to hit the panic button. But we cannot have another slow start like we did last year on defense. We can't rely on the offense to score 40-plus points to win a game. That's just not feasible in the NFL. And I think that we do in this game, even the way that the defense played, for a few different reasons here, and let's get into that. But do you guys think that Aaron Glenn is on the hot seat already? Do you think we need to move on? We still got playmakers out there. Terrible news came in last night. C.J. Gardner-Johnson, of course, we know, tore his pec and is potentially out for the season. Hopefully it's a lower grade injury and he can come back and play this year still, but he did get placed on IR. I believe Spielman back in the day came back from a torn pec came back and played the rest of the season. But yeah, that's brutal. That's a huge hit to this defense, but I still think, Tracy Walker is there. He's going to step it up. It's 21 Savage season now, but is Aaron Glenn on the hot seat? Because, we still have guys on the defense who can make plays. I think that we need to bring Jack Campbell in a lot more. I know he's a rookie and he's still learning, but throw him in some packages where he's just straight up rushing the quarterback. We need more of a pass rush. We need to mix things up. I also think Jack Campbell needs to get more reps than Rodrigo. I love Rodrigo, but he missed some key tackles in the last game, and he just was not having the best game that he's had in his career so far. I think we need to give Jack a little bit more of a chance out there. He's a gamer. See what can happen. And I think Brian Branch is going to have to step up big, and he will, without C.J. Gardner-Johnson there. But is Aaron Glenn on the hot seat? Do we move on? I'm going to get into the comments here in a second. Actually, I'm going to do it right now. I'm here. You guys are here. Let's talk. Let's vent. Let's get it out of the way, okay? David Barnett says, does it feel familiar? A year ago, the Lions were 1-1 and dealing with a bunch of injuries. Vaitai was out for the season. Others on the O-line missed time. Swift kept getting hurt. Shark was injured. Yes, it's, sad, but it is kind of starting to feel familiar like last year. You know, defense looked a lot better the first game, but once again, now we're getting banged up. And I don't know what's going on with this franchise. It seems like we're cursed. We go out, we make a big signing. We get, the heart and soul, a new captain of this defense who's bringing just a whole new energy to the city, the team. And look what happens. He goes out there, tore his pec in week 2, and is potentially out for the season. It's just, it's something around this team. We need Peyton Manning. We need him back out there to reverse the curse once again, because this is just sad. Vaitai going down again, David Montgomery. It's just sad, but there is some promise behind the Vaitai and Montgomery. Dan Campbell was on the radio this morning. He confirmed that Houston is going to IR. And then he said Vaitai, is expected to miss a few weeks, but he doesn't expect him to go to IR. So that is very good news. If he can avoid the IR there, come back, get back on the line. We need it beefed up once again. But, and then, of course, Montgomery's day-to-day now. So before it was feared that, he was at least a couple weeks. Now it's day-to-day to a few weeks. But he still might miss Sunday. So we'll see what happens there. But, we'll talk more about this. Let me get back into the comments here. David Barnett also says, on defense, Pascal and Kaminsky were injured. Rookies were having to step up. Our secondary was looking shaky. No Houston. Yeah, it was a tough game. Injuries are going to kill us, but I'm going to get into this in a second, okay? We're going to talk these injuries. I'm going to talk certain guys, but I'm going to get through these comments real quick to please you, and then we're going to come right back to that, David. Grit. AG knows Hutch is going to get held and double-teamed all game long. He's supposed to scheme for that. I agree. I don't understand why nothing else is happening. Why are we just relying on, a straight rush to go in there? We're not scheming. We're not doing anything. Like I said, throw Jack Campbell in there. Throw all the linebackers in there at once. Blitz the DBs more often. I don't understand what AG's doing right now. He needs to get it together a lot faster than it did last year. I can't express that enough. I've already said it a ton. And we've only been here 13 minutes. All right. Ryan says, Brian Burns season, I would love to see it. We got to make a move. I would love to see it. John Peterson says, DC. That means maybe get rid of him. I don't know. Brand new. The Seahawks have put over 1,500 yards versus AG defense the last 3 meetings. Yeah, it's embarrassing. If I were AG, I would go hide my head in a hole right now after those 3 performances against the Seahawks the last 3 years. And if he's around next year, we got to go up against him next year. It's pathetic. I still want to know, do you guys want to give him a more chance, a little bit longer? Are we going to give AG a little bit longer? Or is it his time? I mean, I'm not hitting the panic button on the season. I think that we still have a great chance to win the North, even with all the injuries and everything that's happening. But is it AG's time? Let me know. Let me know what you think. All right, brand new. That's what I just read. Sorry. Grit. John Fox could turn this same group into a top 5 to 8 defense, maybe even better. I think we have good personnel on defense. I think that we're still young, but we should not have given up that many points to an offense that was missing their 2 starting tackles. Geno Smith, you saw what they did against the Rams the week before. I know it was week 1. So you can't really judge a team off of week 1. But come on, we have to stop letting up that many yards and points to the Seattle Seahawks. It's embarrassing. Robin's Nest says, hot seat, the seat is lava. I'd have to agree with you. Ryan, who would you replace Glenn with theoretically? Me personally, I haven't really thought about this enough. And this is just kind of coming off the top of my head, but I like the John Fox suggestion there. I don't even know if he would be up for the job. But, we also have a few coaches on staff that maybe could step in. We have a Dre Bly. I don't know if he's ready for the role. We have Shep, the linebacking coach. So and Dan Campbell has also expressed, his love for Shep and his trust in him, and that they're building him for a bigger role. So maybe it's his time. Maybe it's his time. But that's Grit. I've already answered that. John Fox. Okay. But yeah, I wouldn't mind maybe making a switch real quick. Robin's Nest, yeah, Grit, that would be nice. Mary Peterson, what's going on, Mary? How you doing? Brand new, a better DC would be great, but who? Yeah, like we said, John Fox, maybe Shep, who knows? They maybe have a better candidate in mind, but yeah, like you said, I don't know where we go at this moment. Who knows who's even interested or available right now? But John Peterson, DC sucks. No halftime adjustments. Yeah, he sucks at halftime adjustments. We should have looked better. I expected us to come out and start shutting them down, and it's sad. I'm ready for AG to either fix it this week. I'm giving him 1 week. That's what I'm doing. He's got 1 week. Fix it this week, because if Atlanta goes up and down the field all over us, I know they got some weapons, but they're young. They should not score 37 points on us. I'll tell you that. They do have Bijan Robinson. They have Pitts. Ritter's looking okay, but they should not put up big numbers on us. So if he lets it go this week, we got to let him go. That's what I'm saying. Alrighty. Bring back Terrell Austin. Hey, I wouldn't mind that at all. He was great for us. I don't know if he'd want to come back, but yeah, when he was here in Detroit, I loved it. Grit, John Fox is the best defensive mind in the whole organization. Let him do it. I know he's there. I just don't know if he's up for the job. So, because I feel like he should have already been doing it. When we first added him, I thought that John Fox should have been the defensive coordinator right off the bat. And then last year, I don't know if it was on one of the last episodes because we were starting to get it going, but early on in the season, I was going there already. So yes, Grit, way to point that out. John Fox, if he's up for it, let's just go ahead and have that happen. Let's have it happen. I don't know if he wants to be back down the sidelines, but he can be up there in the booth calling the plays. Way to point that out, Grit. Thank you once again. Robin's Nest, yes, I do. I don't think he would want it. Okay, brand new. John Fox is just a consultant on the payroll that likes to hang around and talk football. He wouldn't be their new DC. That's the only thing. I would love for him to come down and do it once again, but he's old. Don't know if he's up for it. Would love for him to step in, though. But let's move on. Let's talk more of the Seattle game and why we lost that game. But cheers, everybody, real quick before we move on. Happy to have everybody back. Keep the comments rolling. Love to see it. But this is why I think we lost the game, and there's multiple reasons, but the main reason to me was turnovers. Yes, Aaron Glenn was not coaching a well defensive coaching game. Dan Campbell had some very boneheaded moments during that game. But if we don't have two of those turnovers, and I'm talking about the one right out of half that Montgomery fumbled, that was just an absolute killer. And then they go and score 7 on. And then, of course, the pick 6. We win that game easy. So we just got to clean it up a little bit, and we'll be fine, even with the coaches being the way that they are right now. Injuries are going to happen, but we're going to be fine. We saw other teams lose their studs this week. Nick Chubb went out to a terrible knee injury last night, and I feel really, really bad for him and the whole Browns organization. But, if we just played a little bit cleaner that game, we would have easily won that game as well, even with Dan Campbell deciding to go for it on our own 45. We don't get it. They score a touchdown. That's another turnover on downs. That's another argument right there. We punt it there. There's no guarantee that they don't score a touchdown even if we punt it, but it makes it a lot harder on them to score a touchdown and a lot easier on our defense. But even without that, if we don't turn the ball over, we still win. So, Dan Campbell does need to stop with his aggressiveness. I like it sometimes. I really do. Against the Chiefs, when we did the fake punt, that caught him off guard. They weren't ready for it. That was perfect timing. We got the first down. If we didn't get it, yeah, he looked stupid, but that's different than just coming out there every single fourth down and going for it no matter what. You got to play situational at some point. And he did well against the Chiefs, and we won. Then we come in here, and he wants to go for it every single fourth down, it seemed like, in your own territory, and then you give up easy points. That's not working. And then you don't take points when you're in field goal range, an easy gimme field goal. You go for it instead. You don't get it. We don't get 3 on the board. Those 3 points right there could have won us the game at the end of the game if they were already on the scoreboard. So as much as I love Dan Campbell when he lets his balls drop sometimes, he's overly aggressive sometimes too. And this was one of those games to where he was just trying to get too cute and it didn't work out. You got to be smart, Dan. But even without that, or even with that, without the turnovers, we still win. But come on, MCDC. You got to be a little bit smarter than what you're doing there. Like I said, fake punts, all that, that's great. Situational time when you need, when it's time. If we could put the game away with a fourth down and we get it, that's great. Other times catching them off guard or you want to extend the drive because you feel like if you don't hear, you don't have a chance. That's another thing. But when the game's close, when you have momentum, you don't give the momentum back by going for it and not getting it, and then they're in your. It's just so frustrating sometimes with him. But you love him sometimes, and then when he does those things, you're like, what the heck? But I still back my coach. I still back my coach because without the turnovers, we win even with those decisions that he did. Another decision that I didn't really like from Dan Campbell. And, I'm criticizing him right now, but I'll tell you what, I still like Dan as the coach. I'm not calling for Dan's head at all. He has these games from time to time. It happens. It's Dan Campbell. He's going to be Dan Campbell. Dan Campbell going to Dan Campbell. Anyways, why, with 2 minutes left and 3 timeouts left in the game, or we have 3 timeouts left, 2 minutes left in the game, and we have the ball, and we can go down and tie it up, or we can go and try to win the game. Why not try and go win the game? You're aggressive the entire game, going for it on fourth almost every time you have a fourth down in less than 5 yards, but you don't try and go down and score a touchdown to win the game. Why get conservative in the last 2 minutes? I understand maybe he doesn't want to turn the ball over and then we lose anyways, but we lost. We ended up losing. Why not be aggressive when you've been aggressive the entire time? There was a play where they ran it all the way down, and they just kept wasting time. They were just trying, let's get this to overtime. Let's get this to overtime. Why the mentality in the last 2 minutes did it switch up to that? Why be aggressive the entire game, but then the last 2 minutes when you have the chance to go and win the game, you get conservative all of a sudden? Don't like it. Didn't like that at all. So it was weird to me that he was aggressive in other situations and then didn't do it there. I don't know. You can argue it either way. He got us to overtime. We didn't touch the ball in overtime. So, but when you see your defense playing the way that they were already depleted. It took everything out of them to get that last stop to give us a chance to even tie it up or win the game. You go out there and you try to win the game when you see your defense like that. I'm sorry. I didn't like Dan Campbell's coaching this week. It was frustrating. The whole thing. The whole game was. But other than that, besides the turnovers, I thought that the offense looked well. Josh Reynolds stepped up. Looks like him and Goff have their connection back. Josh was kind of battling through a lot of injuries last year, so he wasn't really present a lot, but he did make some big plays last year. But it's good to see that him and Goff are connecting once again. He's getting open. He's getting touchdowns because Marvin Jones is nowhere to be found. And Amon-Ra was kind of banged up, so we needed a guy to really step it up. And thank you, Josh, for stepping it up. Another guy who I thought impressed was that of rookie tight end Sam Laporta. That kid is going to be a stud. He's already a stud. He's out there, gets the ball, breaks 3 or 4 tackles, goes and gets the first down. That's what he did at Iowa his whole career. He's going to do it his whole career. Hopefully with the Lions his whole career, but he's going to do it his whole NFL career. The kid, he's got the football instincts. He's going to be great in this league. He's already, I think, top 3 tight ends as far as yards go, and he's ahead of Hawkinson. Hawkinson's one behind him. But yeah, Sam Laporta, that's a positive coming from the game. He's looking great, and yeah, going to be a huge weapon for Goff moving forward. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have for, positives from the game. There's more from it, but the injuries are really killing us right now. But we got to remember, we can't hit the panic button. This is happening to all the other teams around the NFL. Not all of them, but it'll catch up with them. Injuries happen. It's a brutal sport. Unfortunately for us, it's happening all at once again. But I am staying optimistic. We need to make a move. We need to beef up that defensive line, or we just need to scheme better, get a better defensive coordinator. Something needs to happen there on defense. We can all agree on that. But Montgomery, he looks good when he's out there. He should be back sooner than people think. It was started, like I said, 2 weeks. Now it's moved to day. Could still possibly last 2 weeks. But it's not going to be any longer than 2 is what it's looking like. Vitae is looking like he's going to avoid the IR, which is great. CJ Gardner-Johnson is absolutely tragic. But we are so lucky that our backup safety is Tracy Walker because he's ready to go. He would be a starting safety elsewhere. And last week we were kind of talking. Some people were like, well, if Tracy's just going to sit, we need to trade him. This is why we keep him. Because you never know what's going to happen in the NFL. Depth is so important. And yeah, we're realizing that big time right now, once again, just like we had to last year. But hopefully this year our depth is a little bit better, which I think it is. But that defense, something needs to happen over there, man. It's just bad. It's just bad. But Hutch got a little banged up. He'll be good to go. I trust that. Same with Amon-Ra St. Brown. I know a lot of people were worried about him because they had to put the steel plate on his toe during the game. Amon-Ra's tough. He'll be out there. He knows how important each game is, and we need to win this one this week at home against Atlanta. But one thing that I want to point out, and this is the injuries that I was going to talk about earlier, and David pointed some things out. But look, I love Brad Holmes, so don't take this the wrong way. Brad Holmes is the GOAT of GMs in the NFL. But there is something, I think I found a flaw of his, and this is something that's been bothering me as of late. He puts too much trust in people who have gone through some serious injuries. He drafts too many players who got a serious injury in college, and he goes out and he gets free agents who are coming off of a serious injury. He wants to give them a shot, and it's a risk, but it's a risk that I don't think is paying off anymore, or maybe never has, because Levi is just now starting to play. He missed his whole first 2 years pretty much. Pascal's looking like he's going down the same road. J-Mo's got to pass because, he's a freak of nature. That guy's he could potentially be something very special in this league. So he gets a pass, and then the gambling thing was bull. But still, another guy that he drafted who was coming off of a terrible injury. Then we go out and get Mosley. And he hasn't seen the field yet. So, we got to stop going out and getting these injury-prone guys and giving them a second chance. It's worked sometimes, but for the most part with us, it's not really working. And I just don't understand why we continue to draft guys and go out and get people who are coming off of serious injuries. Because look what happens. Pascal comes back. He's hurt again. I just don't like it. That's the only thing that I have to nitpick about Brad Holmes. Stop getting these guys who came off of major injuries. Because when they come back, they get hurt again. I don't wish that on anybody. But come on, man. It hasn't worked out yet. I loved Pascal. He was great in the first game. But if he can't be on the field, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? All right. Here we go. I'm going to get over to the comments. John Peterson says, hard to win with 3 turnovers and 0-2 on 4th down. You are correct. The turnovers are what killed us. And even that third, the one turnover, Goff said in the presser, he goes, obviously the one that Amon-Ra fumbled didn't hurt us. It didn't hurt us. But I also think that if Amon-Ra catches that and he breaks that one tackle, the guy that made him fumble, he's in the end zone. So that fumble did kind of hurt us because we'd get more points. In my opinion, I don't know if it would have actually happened, but he had a good chance to score there. He's good with the run after catch. But yeah, 3 turnovers are going to kill you. Grit. Had the St. Brown fumble not been just before halftime, it would have been reviewed. All Lions fans would have been calling it an incomplete pass. You're right. You're right about that. It's funny that we're talking about the Amon-Ra fumble, and then I would go down. And your comment lined up perfectly, Grit. But you are right. We would have been calling for an incomplete all day. You are right about that. Brand new, has Holmes ever brought in a trade to help the roster in season? Not that I am aware of. Not anybody. No, we've always gotten rid. Like, we got rid of TJ Hawkinson. I don't. There's nobody significant, at least, that we've brought in that has done anything great for us mid-season. So I would love to see that happen. It's time to make some moves. It's time. If we want to contend for real, if we want to win the NFC North, this is our chance to win the NFC North is this year. We got to go out and grab it. But we got to make moves to make sure that defense is going to stay secure throughout the season. All right, David Barnett. I blame 14 points on offensive turnovers and 6 coaching 4th downs. Yeah, you can definitely blame the coaches, and that's why I'm saying they did make a lot of bonehead calls that game. But, without the turnovers, we win easy. So just clean it up. Just clean it up because Dan Campbell he's gonna do this. He's gonna go for it on 4th down. It's gonna continue to happen. Now, I don't think he's gonna be as aggressive as he was this last game, but he's definitely gonna continue to keep going for it on 4th down. It's how he does it. That's his game plan. So we just got to play a little bit cleaner football to be able to back that up. All right. Last year, after 1-1, we went on a 5-game losing streak. How should we adjust sooner? That's a great question. It starts with the defense. Once again, the offense is looking great. We have to do something there. I would say go out and get somebody. Come up with new schemes. That's a great question. That is a great question. Let me think about that and come back to it. But we need to switch it up from last year, and it looks like we're starting off the exact same way that we did last year. So gonna have to switch something up. Good question there. I'll come back to that. Biggest negative? Our DC is our head coach's BFF. Yeah, great. You're not lying about that. And, it's sometimes there's friends and there's business. You got to separate the two. So hopefully this decision comes down to Brad Holmes, and it doesn't have to come down to DC because it's going to be a tough conversation no matter what when it happens. But if Brad Holmes just takes the heat, then it'll look a lot better. I know Dan Campbell can handle it, though. But something's got to be done there. I'm giving Aaron Glenn one more game. I'm giving him one more game. If he doesn't make adjustments to this defense going into the next game and we don't look a whole lot better, he gone. Especially if he gives up a big-time score or yards to the Atlanta Falcons. When they have some talent there, but they shouldn't put up huge numbers. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Eric, get more Bugs, Martin, Kamitsky, and Levi. Aleem is speedy, only D tackle. Not built for all game, but come in fresh and make plays. Yeah, so there you go. David, that also kind of answers your question. Eric right there points that out. And I wasn't thinking about that, and I should have. I'm just kind of, my mind is all over the place right now. I should have came in here more prepared. But I'm upset about our loss. Anyways, yes, we're going to need to beef up the line interior big time. So Bugs was a healthy scratch last week once again. He's healthy. He's ready to go. I don't know what the problem is there, but we should probably play him next game. Broderick Martin, hopefully, is good to go next game as well. I would like to see just more of a rotation there. Keep him fresh. Like you said, Aleem maybe not built to go the whole game, but they should just keep it fresh. If the guys are all, kind of even as far as skill and ability, just keep rotating them in there. Keep Hutch out there. Keep rotating the other guys in there. Keep them fresh. And hopefully we can keep our legs under us the whole entire game, and then it'll pay off towards the end. Tiger Town, do you still have faith in Gibbs and Laporta? Man, I'm thinking they're just luxury picks, and we didn't need them. I definitely still have faith in both of them, and I thought Laporta had a good game this last game, especially for a rookie tight end. He was actually the third best tight end in the NFL this week, not out of just rookies, out of all tight ends. So I think Laporta is doing just fine. Gibbs, you guys got to give him some time. I know he was the number 12 pick, but they're working him in there. If you look at how Kamara started off his career, he started slower than what Gibbs is doing right now. So I don't think it's going to be much more time. I think that he has a breakout game this next game, especially if Monty is out. I think that the Lions have to trust Gibbs more. They don't give him the ball to run through the trenches. I have seen a few where they've tried to get stuffed, but you gotta keep going back to it. You can't just give up after a few. I think the kid can be a 3-down running back. There's no need to have him be that when Montgomery's healthy. But I think that we just got to give Gibbs a little bit more time, and you're going to see that he is the weapon that Brad Holmes thought he was. And Laporta is great too. And this is another thing that I've been seeing a lot of people out there saying, they're like, we should have got Jalen Carter at 6. I want to ask you guys this because I agree with who we got. Now, Jalen Carter could have helped out that defense big time, of course. Yes. I think Gibbs is going to turn out to be a great player in the NFL. I think that we'll all see that. After the first 2 weeks, we can't hit the panic button on him. They're easing him in. He wasn't all the way comfortable. We had Monty there. We're going to see what happens week 3 if Montgomery's out. Don't be surprised if, Bam Knight gets more touches, but I think that they're going to really unleash Gibbs this week, and he's going to be ready to go. So don't give up on him just yet. But this is the argument that I saw earlier. People were saying, get Jalen Carter, or we should have, at 6. He went at 9. But if we get him at 6, then we don't trade back, right? So then let me ask you this. Would you rather, you name these two as well, would you rather have Jalen Carter over Gibbs and Laporta? Because you got 2 stud offensive players, one who a lot of people, for some reason, aren't trusting or don't believe in Gibbs yet. But would you trade right now, would you trade Gibbs and Laporta for Jalen Carter? I want to know. Because I wouldn't. And just Gibbs's glimpses, especially against the Chiefs, he's got great balance. The guy does not want to go down. He's got great moves. If he doesn't trip in the red zone against the Chiefs, that's an easy touchdown for him. So he would have already, had production there. Now, this is something that people were mad about. He did drop a pass over the middle in the Seattle game from Goff. He knew he should have caught it. If he catches that one, I'm telling you, he's making one move on the safety, and he's to the house. He's that guy. He will make some explosive plays for us. Just give it time. But I'm calling it this coming game. I think Gibbs has a breakout game. I think Laporta is already there. He's gonna do great for us as well. He's doing his tight end thing. He's not flashy or anything out there. But when he catches the ball, he's breaking tackles and he's getting first downs. I love what Laporta's doing so far. And he's rated better than TJ Hawkinson through the first 2 weeks. So there's that. But I am not giving up on Gibbs or Laporta. Not even close. Tiger Town. I mean, we could have kept Swift and stuck with Brock Wright and James Mitchell, and we would have been fine, I think. Yeah, Swift had a great game. It's just we'll see how long he can stay healthy for. And I like Swift. I didn't want to trade Swift. I don't think that Brock Wright or James Mitchell is going to bring anything close to what Sam Laporta can bring to the table, though. And you will see that here very soon if you don't already. All right, Grit. He needs to bring in a dude that gives AG absolutely no excuses whatsoever. I know, and I thought, our secondary was kind of looking like that already as far as, if we would have had Emmanuel Mosley out there and we would have had all three of those DBs, that would have been just he already doesn't have an excuse. CJ Gardner-Johnson's hurt now, but he didn't have an excuse for giving up that many pass yards with the DBs that we already had. So, AG, get it together, man. My God. All right. Here we go. Eric says, Tiger, that's a good point. They're showing flashes. Sorry, jeez. But not sure I'd lean on either. I'm not sure Laporta is going to be left alone on crossing routes all game. Okay. Grit says, Fox needs to at least give Campbell and Glenn the what the F are you doing? Yeah, he does. He definitely does. My friends who are not Detroit Lions fans are all over here like, man, I thought this was going to be your year. You guys beefed up the defense. He goes, what's going on? It's looking like it was last year. I go, oh, my God, tell me about it. Even people who don't watch the Lions know. All right, D-Town Heat. This is a Gibbs versus Bijan game. If Bijan runs all over us, Gibbs is mediocre. Gonna hit the – oh, man, I wouldn't go as far as say if Bijan runs more or gets more yards than Gibbs that Gibbs is trash. I wouldn't say that because Bijan's already getting the workload over there in Atlanta. That was the plan right off the bat when we're kind of working Gibbs in. So I wouldn't go as far to say that. That is a hilarious take though. But yeah, people are going to get mad. People are definitely going to get mad. But remember, Bijan was drafted ahead of Gibbs still. We didn't take Gibbs before Bijan, even though Brad Holmes said he would have been comfortable doing that. But we can't just throw Gibbs under the bus if he has a worse game than Bijan Robinson because Atlanta is counting on Bijan Robinson to carry that offense already. All right. Eric, Gibbs has more flash, but his vision has been iffy at times. He's usually looking outside only. Yeah, I think a lot of the runs are set up to go outside right now, but I have noticed that too. He likes to bounce it outside. That's going to come with time, though, and hopefully a lot less time than more. Obviously, we want it, to happen quick, but it's a way faster game going from college to the NFL, and a lot of rookies, especially with speed, tend to want to bounce it outside first. So he'll learn, he'll get it down. But I do agree with you there. He just needs to get that NFL vision in there. But the guy's got the potential. It's all there. All right. Eric says, I might take the trade if I get Swift and Maul back too. Well, that wasn't part of it. Swift and Maul are not part of that trade. It's just Jalen for Laporta and Gibbs because that's what it would have been in the draft. So you don't get Swift and Jamal back as well with that trade. It's only Jalen Carter for Gibbs and Laporta. That's how it is. Sorry. Alrighty. Hatter's house. I wanted Carter. Still do. Our problem has always been defense. Could have kept Swift. Yeah, we're back on it. Look it. I'm wearing a Swift shirt under this, all right? No, I'm not trying to flash you guys. I'm wearing a Swift shirt. It wasn't on purpose. It just happened. I like Swift. We could have kept him, but I like Gibbs and I like Montgomery, and I think when Montgomery is in there and he's healthy, you can see the upgrade from him and Jamal. I loved Maul. Don't get me wrong. And it sucks that he got hurt as well this week, both Montgomery, but it sucks for Jamal because we all love Jamal that he got hurt too. But you can see the upgrade there. Montgomery is a beast when he has that ball. He just needs to stay healthy. Of course, that fumble killed us, but Montgomery's good. Montgomery is good. All right. David Barnett, we need Mosley. We definitely need Mosley. I was gonna get there. Jerry Jacobs, my God. I'm usually a Jerry Jacobs fan. I was talking with my grandpa after the game about this. Jerry Jacobs did not have a great game or a good game at all. He didn't even have a mediocre game. He was not looking good out there. I'm sorry, my allergies are starting to go crazy. That's why I keep rubbing my eyes and pausing. But yeah, we need Mosley back bad right now. Of course, guarding DK Metcalf is no easy task. That guy is a beast. I mean, any if you get asked to go one on one with DK, good luck. Anybody. But Jerry Jacobs did not have a good game at all, and it would have definitely helped to have Mosley out there if Mosley plays like he did prior to his injury. But yeah, it's going to hurt big time without CJ Gardner Johnson because maybe we could have done something different to help out Jerry Jacobs over there in the next week. But now we got to rely. I mean, we're going to be fine. Tracy Walker's there. Tracy's good. He's no CJ GJ, or maybe he is. Maybe this is going to be the comeback of 21 Savage, and he's going to go out there and show everybody. But I think Brian Branch has got to have to step up a ton more. If Brian can play that house, give him a chance maybe if Jerry starts having a game like last week. But it was bad, and I agree. Mosley needs to get back soon, way sooner than later. But unfortunately, he had a setback with that hamstring injury, and Dan Campbell he said it's not looking good for him to return this week. He said, we'll see, but it's not looking good. And he kind of had the same sort of expression towards Taylor Decker as well. So it looks like we're going to be without Decker and Mosley for one more week at least. I hope not. Penei Sewell did fine over there, I thought, but he was disappointed in his performance. I know he could have done better. He doesn't normally play left tackle. But, for him to be disappointed in his performance, he's going to step it up and get better if he is there again next week. If Decker's in there, I don't think a few of the sacks happen. Matt Nelson gave up one that I know Penei Sewell wouldn't have. Or I don't know for a fact, but I'm just saying. But anyways, looks like we might be out with Mosley and Decker for one more week at least. Alrighty. Tiger Town. The real questions we should be asking ourselves is Gibbs going to be better than Swift, and by how much? All right. That is a good question, and I think he will. I think he's going to stay on the field a lot more. He's a lot faster than Swift. Swift, he's got some great feet. He's quick. He can get down the field, but Swift runs out of gas once he gets down there. You're not going to see Gibbs running out of gas once he breaks away. That guy's taking it to the house. He's got more speed. He's more explosive. I think he's got more potential than Swift, even though I like Swift a lot. Swift had a career game for Philly. I think Swift could have done that in Detroit. I don't think he ever really got the chance because I don't think he's ever gotten that many carries. And if he did, it was one time, maybe twice. But, I truly do believe that Gibbs will end up being better than Swift. I think he's going to be more productive for us. You can ask everybody that knows me. I didn't want to trade Swift. I didn't. Once we drafted Gibbs, I knew he was gone. But I would have to say, in the long run, I see Gibbs being better than Swift for sure. We got to give it time. We can't. I've said it a bunch this episode. We can't hit that panic button yet, Lions fans. It's week 2. These are rookies. Yes, Swift had a great game this last week, but we can't just say because of his great game that we should have kept him because who knows what he's going to do the rest of the year. Who knows? And Philly has a great offensive line too. We do too. But I don't see Swift getting used. They're going to keep rotating guys. Swift's not going to have that game every single game. Trust that. He's not even going to get that many touches. Probably next week he probably won't even. So if you have him on fantasy, be aware of that. But I think that the Gibbs and Monty duo is an upgrade from Swift and Jamal, even though I loved the Swift and Jamal duo. All right, let's keep it moving. Grit. It's way too early to judge this year's draft. Yeah, exactly. Starting to question the durability of Anthony Richardson, though. I'm with you, Grit. You can't draft this year's, or you can't draft. You definitely can't draft this year's draft class anymore, but we can't judge it yet, guys. Look at what Amon-Ra did his rookie year, and now everybody loves him. I mean, he came along at the end, but he was not the greatest or the stud wide receiver the first half of the season of his rookie year that he turned into be the second half of his rookie year and then onward. You have to give these rookies a little bit of time. Some rookies go out there, they perform right away. Other teams do a better job of scheming for their rookies, or they just are like, hey, it's you day one. That's it. Over here, we're not trying to put all the workload on Gibbs right off the bat, or Laporta, or Campbell, or Branch, but we are expecting them to make plays, and they're out there making plays. And I like what they're doing as rookies so far because I only see them getting better from here. So just give them some time, guys. Be patient. Patience is a virtue. I don't have a lot of it. But we got to be patient with these rooks. I think it's going to turn out to be a great rookie class all around. All right, Tiger Town. I think Amon-Ra, St. Brown, Montgomery, Decker, CJ, GJ, Joseph, and Vaitai are all hurt and won't play this Sunday against the Falcons. All right. I talked about this a little earlier. Definitely not CJ, GJ. Houston won't play either, or Vaitai. I think Amon-Ra and Joseph play. And then it's up in the air for Montgomery and Decker. Decker definitely not definitely, but we already talked about that. I don't see him playing. And Montgomery I could see sitting this week as well. But I do see Amon-Ra getting out there. He's tough. He already was battling through an ankle injury. I think he's going to get out there. But you could be right, and that would be tragic for this week's game. If all of those guys are missing, it's going to be tough to win for sure. Eric says, I like Gibbs and Monty, just not sure I like them enough over Swift and Maul to ignore the defense. Yeah, and all right. I was shocked and now more than ever a little upset about us not addressing the D-line more than we did in the offseason. We just went out there and got Broderick Martin in the draft. That's all we did for the defensive line. So he trusted his guys, and it's not working. It's not working. It's sad. I was very upset, and Brad Holmes is realizing it now. So hopefully he realizes enough that this is going to be a problem all year long that he goes out and he makes a move right now because we need the help. I don't trust that Aaron Glenn is going to move this around or turn this around anytime quickly. He's known for super slow starts, and it's already happening. So we need to do something now. All right. Hustle Man Jones. Gibbs not better than Swift, dog. Not yet. Not yet. I love Swift, but we all dogs over here. And Gibbs going to be better. Gibbs will be. I love Swift, but Gibbs is going to be better. And we can talk about that later. We can agree to disagree. We're all Lions fans over here. But I truly do think in the long run, Gibbs is going to be, he's not going to be as hurt. He's got better balance. He's faster. He's going to break off bigger plays. We'll see. We'll see. Brand new. I hope we're healthier in 9 days for Green Bay. Mosley better be in. Yeah. And I just can't believe that the injury bug hit us this soon. It's tragic. Mosley better be in by Green Bay, I hope, because otherwise that's just, like I said earlier, why are we trusting these guys coming off of major injuries to come in and do anything for us? Mosley hasn't even seen the field yet, and he's on a 1-year deal. So hopefully he gets out there sooner than later and actually does something for us. All right, D-Town Heat. Our Alabama players already pro ready. Bijan already getting a full workload in week 2. And Ben is still babysitting Gibbs. If Reynolds, cut practice squad, gets more play than Gibbs in week 3, he's going to be mad. Yeah, and me too, but all right. You're definitely right. Alabama players are ready to go. And this is not on Gibbs. This is just what you said. Ben is not putting him in, and they're working him in. They're trying to, get him more touches each week. I hope this week is the breakout week. I feel like he's ready to go. Yeah, Atlanta's trusting Bijan. We could do with the same with Gibbs. They're different style of running backs, but I think you're gonna be mad um, on Sunday because I truly see Dan Campbell and their style giving Craig Reynolds and Bam Knight maybe together combined more runs than Gibbs, but I think Gibbs gets overall more action, more touches. He's going to be in the pass game. They're going to do some screens. They're going to try to get him the ball a lot this week is what I'm feeling. I'm not in there in the room. I don't really know. But I do feel like, Montgomery's hurt. They're going to have to put Gibbs into the game a lot more. And because Craig Reynolds was not it. We saw that was just when he had to go and run at the end of the game there. It was terrible. I am I like Craig. He's a hometown hero, but he doesn't have it, and we can't rely on him. And I'm excited to see what Bam Knight can do because he showed some flashes over there for the Jets when he got some time, and he breaks tackles. The guy's got skill. We'll see what happens, but yeah, I expect that they're probably gonna give them more rushes, at least through the trenches ones, because for some reason they don't trust him. You got to throw some trust into your rookie, though, at some point. And I know that, they may see him as fragile, but he's not. He's not. When he runs angry. Look at that Chiefs game. The few runs that he had, when he was running, he refused to go down. I'm telling you, Gibbs is going to be okay. They need to trust him. Hustle Man Jones. I think Carter took the Lions to the next level. You hear that from a Colts fan, but Gibbs, nah, stop it. Hey, I'm not saying that Gibbs is like the play. He's not out here making or breaking this team. Jalen Carter could have definitely helped out that defense. I think Gibbs takes the offense to a whole new level once he gets in here and once we start utilizing him for real. Yeah, I mean, you can't be hating on Gibbs like that though. Because where's your running back at right now? That's all I got to say. I'm just kidding. All right. D-Town Heat, year 3 with Dan/Brad. So these high drafted players need to produce now. Unfortunately, that's just the way it is. Before you know it, he might be 2-6, and it's another year down the drain. Yeah, I would hope that the year 2 and 3 guys start playing a lot better. We saw, week 1 against the Chiefs was better. And but this last week was just terrible. So they got to step it up. I don't know what's going on over there. I don't know if they're progressing along as fast as they should. Maybe that's on Aaron Glenn as well. We're back on the AG thing. I'm telling you, I'm giving him this week. And that's it. But yeah, as far as the other guys go, I think that the offensive rookies are going to show out. Laporta already starting to. And Gibbs will be just fine. I don't get it. It's only week 2, people. Why we hating on Gibbs so much? Tiger Town, Bijan versus Gibbs. Let's go. David Barnett. If a player misses 2 tackles in a game, they ought to move down in rotation. Yeah, Rodrigo, I'm calling you out right now. Jack Campbell needs to move ahead of you. I loved Rodrigo last year, but get him out. If he missed a key tackle and it ended up going for another like 20 yards after he missed that tackle. So right then and there, put Jack Campbell in my opinion. All right. Grit, we went through the positives without even mentioning Cam Sutton. Brad, yeah. Hey, you know what? We weren't all the way through the positives, and I'm sorry, my allergies are going insane right now, but Cam Sutton looks good. And that's why it's so bad that C.J. Gardner-Johnson's maybe done for the season. Because when Mosley comes back, that D-back core they'll be fine. And I think they will anyways with Tracy Walker. I'm sorry, guys. My nose is running. But yeah, way to point that out. Cam Sutton is a baller, and he showed up. Love to see it. Hustleman Jones, see us week 5. Hey, man, I was just kidding, dude. I didn't really have a rebuttal. That's why I said what I said. But we're playing Carolina week 5, though. I thought you were a Colts fan. I thought that's what that said. I thought you said you were a Colts fan. Okay. Eric, wouldn't mind seeing more Rodrigo blitzes as well. Yeah, if Rodrigo's going to be out there, and any of the linebackers. We need to send the house sometimes. They are scared to do that, it seems like, and they trust way too much on the front four, the front three sometimes. And it's like, we don't have that. We don't have that. I expected more out of Hutch so far, and he's in the quarterback's face. But come on, like I said earlier, we need production. If you're facing two backup offensive tackles, you have to get a sack if you want to be an elite. If you want to be elite in this league. All right. Yeah, let's look at this though. We are still in decent shape. Yes, it's the injury bug hit us, but our offense is still going to be fine. We do need to make some adjustments on defense, but we have to stay positive moving forward. It's not, okay, we got a few injuries, we lose, season's over. It's week 2. We can't panic yet, guys. Not even the media has given up on us yet. And I know people don't like power rankings, but we're still in the top 10 in most power rankings across the league. And I can go through that for you real quick right now where we're at. NFL.com has us at 8. Sporting News has us at 8. Yahoo Sports has us at 8. ESPN has us at 8. USA Today has us at 9. The Ringer has us at 9. Touchdown Wire has us at 9. MMQB has us at 10. Pro Football Network has us at 11. The Athletic has us at 13. And CBS Sports has us at 18 and says the defense needs to get better. And I agree. Now, power rankings are a stat that doesn't really mean much to me or to a lot of people. But they're staying positive on us. They still think that we are a top 10 football team. So the Lions fans, we still need to stay positive and back this team. Yes, there were some head-scratching moments in that game, and we should have won that game. We should have been better, but this is football. This happens with every single team. You're not going to win every game. Did you expect us to go 17-0? If you did, you're crazy, because that's just not going to happen. And if it did, that would have been amazing. That would have been something that would have been talked about for ages to come, but it's not happening. And we definitely played sloppy. We still should have came away with the win. And for us to almost come away with the win and play that bad, I think is fine. So look at the positives here and take those. Yes, we have some negatives. Yes, CJ Gardner-Johnson may be out for the rest of the season. And Houston's out for 8 to 10 weeks. But other than that, it looks like our other guys are going to be coming back. We just got to play a lot cleaner football. We'll win games. We built for this still. We did have a bad week as far as losses and injuries. But it's the NFL. It's brutal. Stay positive, guys. We got this, all right? Don't start panicking yet. If we get to that 2-6 like you were talking, then panic. But right now, we're still okay. Everybody else in the North lost this week as well. I know they all suck. And we did as well this week, big time. But we are still in share of first place of the North. So don't panic yet, guys, gals, they, thems, whatever you are. We going to be fine, okay? As of now. Don't panic yet. Please. We got to go out there. We got to support our team. Yes, things upset us. AG being one of them, big time. I know a lot of you want more production out of the rookies to start. Give it time. I'm giving AG one more week. That's it. But everybody else, rookies are going to be okay. We got this, guys, okay? John Peterson, thanks for pointing that out. Way to stay positive. Excuse me. Oh, yeah. Okay, Hustle Man Jones, I got you. JT, get off the pup in week 5. Yeah, man, Jonathan Taylor is a great running back, okay? I can't hate on him. And thank you for joining and watching this podcast as well, even though you're not a Lions fan. I like to hear the outside opinions. So thank you for joining us. You're welcome back every Tuesday when I'm here if you would like. All right, okay, let's get more into the comments. D-Town Heat, I'm not complaining about Gibbs. Awesome talent. I'm blaming the coaches. Yeah, and that's what I got out of it. So I'm sorry. I didn't mean to come at you, maybe make it look like you were blaming or complaining about Gibbs. I got what you were saying there, D-Town Heat. I blame him as well. He needs more touches. Against the Chiefs, when you see him going off like that, Just make a different plan. If the plan all along was, oh, we're only going to give him 9 touches and that's it. Change the plan if he's out there killing it. It's that easy. All right. David Barnett, very happy with 1-1. Yeah, I don't know where you guys saw us after week 2. I don't know if you saw us beating the Chiefs or not, or beating the Seahawks. But did you have us 2-0? I honestly had us 1-1 after week 2. I would rather be 2-0. I think that we definitely could be 2-0. I think that we coulda, shoulda, woulda been 2-0. But 1-1 is not a bad start, and hopefully, you know, we can. This is a little humble pie, like Dan Campbell says, and we can make an adjustments, get better, put in the work this week, and if they can come out and prove to the fans and themselves and everybody that, they can take a loss, go back, have a week of practice, and come back and be the team that everybody expected them to be, then we know that we have a good team this year. So I'm hoping and expecting them to come out, bounce back, rebound, and get a W against Atlanta, who is 2-0. They're not looking bad. They're playing hard. They did beat the Packers. And then who was the other team that they beat? And the Panthers. They beat the Packers and the Panthers. So, the Packers were looking okay. They played the Bears, though. They beat the Bears. I don't know. I don't know if I would call those impressive wins, but they are 2-0, and it's hard to win games in the NFL. We're 1-1. They have a better record than us. Can't take them lightly. They have weapons in Pitts, Bijan Robinson, already showing that he's got skill for sure. Can't forget about Drake London, who came on last game. Week 1 wasn't really there, but last game he was there. And Desmond Ridder is a semi-mobile quarterback who can use his legs, and we have not been doing well against those guys. I mean, we beat Patrick Mahomes, but Geno Smith just did work on us, and we got 1 sack on him, and it took us 13 seconds, like I said earlier, and it was Anzalone who got it. So we need to do much better in that stat, and I want to see a defensive lineman. Get a sack this game against the Atlanta Falcons, because if not, I don't know. It's gonna be a long year. All right. Grit power rankings mean nothing. You heard me say it right before. I know. I'm just saying that the media wasn't really giving up on us. That some analysts would see that we lost to the Seahawks at home, and they'd be like, "Oh, I had them in the Super Bowl before this. Now they're going nowhere. They're going to be the bottom of the league." So at least the media's not giving up on us is what I'm trying to say. So we shouldn't give up on the team either, because I know a lot of Lions fans are out there saying, "Oh, season's over. The injuries happen. We just lost to the Seahawks, gave up 37 points. Season's over." It's not. It's a long season. We got a long way to go. Eric, always expect 17-0. I mean, yeah, we want that, but to be realistic, that's one of the toughest things to do in sports, is to go 17-0 in the NFL. But yes, you gotta expect it. The Monty injury scares me. It did a little bit. I think he's tough. Scares me a little bit. A thigh bruise on the bone. Ugh, that's gotta hurt. But at least he went from, they were expecting him to be out a few weeks, which it still could be, but now it's day to day. Seems like he's feeling better. So that's good news. Monty is tough. I think that, I think we brought him to this team for a reason. I think he's one of those hard-nosed players who, he's got that grit. I think that he can fight through an injury. We don't want him to do that all year. He's done it in the past with the Bears, but I think that he's good enough and he's tough enough that if he's battling through this thigh thing all year, it's not going to affect him too much. So I hope that it's nothing serious, but yeah, any injury is scary, but I think Monty is going to be okay. I think he's going to be okay. Grit D-Town, they're talking back and forth here. Grits to D-Town says, "I don't think Ben Johnson has figured out how to use Gibbs just yet. Hopefully he figures it out fast." Yeah, I'm with you, because if he hasn't, we need that. We need it to be figured out ASAP, because Gibbs, yeah, he's got the potential. He's got all the moves, all the, the kid is going to shine in this league if he's used right. So Ben, get it together. You're supposed to be one of the geniuses. I thought you were going to be a head coach this year somewhere else. I'm glad you're back, but come on. We need the offense We need 40 plus. We need 40 plus this next game. All right, come on. Eric says, I think CJ and Houston can be replaced. I don't know if I send Houston in coverage. Yeah, I don't like Houston in coverage. He got burnt bad. And so I don't like that either. I like Houston as a pass rusher. I thought that we would just keep him in the game in passing situations only and have him just rush the passer. I did not expect to see him in coverage at all. And when I saw him get burned, I was like, of course he got burned. Like, yeah, I don't like him in coverage either. And CJ, GJ, he brings a lot of energy to that defense. So it's going to be hard to replace that. But I trust Tracy Walker. Tracy Walker, we gave him an extension for a reason, and he's a starter in this league elsewhere, and he is now on our team. But I trust Tracy. I think he's going to step it up, and I think we're going to be okay. That's what I'm saying. Don't panic yet. Every single NFL team has to go through some kind of adversity throughout the year, and it's how you deal with it that determines how your season turns out. So, I mean, some teams get lucky that they don't have to suffer a major injury to a major player, but most teams have to deal with some guys being out who will make a major impact on their team at some point in the season. So we're going to be okay, guys. We're going to be okay. Trust. David Barnett, won by point, lost after tie, faced two very good teams. Yeah, and I think Seattle is underrated. Yeah, they lost to the Rams at home, but that was to Stafford, okay? And I'm not – whatever. Anyways, they had the week one woes. I think Seattle is a good team in this league, and they were underrated going into the game against us. I did expect a battle. I expected us to win, but we played two good teams. Chiefs are never – they're never a pushover, and Seattle always gives us problems. So I expected it to be a real tough game, and it was, and unfortunately we lost, but I thought we were going to win. All righty. Eric says, want to see Marv again before he's gone too. Yeah, Marvin was he was on the field, but he was a ghost. I don't even think they looked his way once. Yeah, Marv. I loved him when it was 9-1-1 connection, Stafford and Marvin. But we need him to step it up because that fumble against the Chiefs, that just was not good. That was just not good. So come on, Marv. Frog Crop, good to see you back. If Gibbs gets hurt, I'm going to panic. Yeah, that's when you panic. But if he does, hopefully Monty's healthy when that happens. I just hope he doesn't get hurt. Don't get hurt, Gibbs. We're good. D-Town talking back to Grit. Yeah, I'll let you guys just talk back and forth because Grit 100% agrees. Grit says, I lost it when I saw Houston dropping back into coverage. My wife looked at me like I was crazy. Yeah. I couldn't believe it either. I was like, what the hell are we doing? He's not used for that. He's just there to get to the quarterback. What are we doing? Yeah, it was insane, and he got burnt bad. And Grit also says Marvin Jones Jr. is cooked. Yeah, unfortunately I think he's done. He's a great mentor. He can put a lot of wisdom on this team to these younger wide receivers and whatnot and guide them through the league. But we, thank God Josh Reynolds showed up last game. I know we still lost, but without him, it would have been hard. It would have been not Marvin Jones. It would have been Amon-Ra and Sam Laporta. And, Khalif Raymond did a few things, but yeah, we're going to need another wide receiver there. And J-Mo's coming back in a few weeks still, but I still think we need another wide receiver for the future. As Marvin Jones is not going to be the guy. We're going to have Amon-Ra, J-Mo. I know we just extended Khalif, but he's kind of a slot guy too. We need that other receiver that can be there a little bit longer. I know Josh Reynolds had a good game, but he doesn't have much longer left on his contract with us, and he's getting older. So I see us. We're already talking next year in the draft, getting a wide receiver, but maybe we go get one now. I know a lot of people are talking about Mike Evans. I don't see Tampa trading anybody now, especially not Mike Evans because they're 2-0. And yeah, but we'll see what kind of moves, if any moves, are going to happen here in the near future. I think that we should try to make something happen there on the defensive side. Not exactly sure what we need, but something needs to change there, whether it be John Fox, like Grit says, coming in, just, AG getting booted out, or a whole new scheme. Maybe they just had a bad game. Maybe Pete Carroll just has AG's number, and Dan Campbell didn't know what to do that game. Maybe he drank too many coffees. He was too wired up. And maybe this week they come in, fix it all, and prove us all wrong. That's what I'm hoping, because AG's got one more week with me. That's it. That's it. All righty. Grit says one more thing, and then I'm probably going to get out of here. I've been here for over an hour. We've been talking. We've been venting. But let me know if you have any other questions. Get them in there while I'm reading Grit's comment here. He says, I hate to say it, but the roster spot might have more value than the guy taking it up. Just saying. Okay. Yeah. We're going to end it on that. Let him think about that, Grit. But yes, we play the Atlanta Falcons this Sunday in Detroit. And we need to come away with the victory. I'm going to give my score prediction like I do each week. Let me know your predictions for this week's score in the comments. And we'll come back and see who had the closest one next week. But I'm going big here. Going big. 38-35. Detroit Lions win. 38-35. That's big. And I want AG gone if we give up 35. So there it is. What is your guys' score prediction? Ryan says, Brian Burns is a Detroit Lion. Go get him, Brad. I thought you were actually letting me know some breaking news there. Oh, man, I got excited when I saw you see that. Okay. Hopefully you're right, though. Frog Crop, where are all of our edge rushers at? They're all hurt. And they're all they're ghosts. Our captain, Charles Harris, nowhere to be found. Don't know. Grit, love Marvin, but not as much as I do. Winning, you are right. Ryan says 31-24 Falcons win. Oh, whoa. Hey, there we go. Hey, that's your opinion. Chance Goff says 38-21, and he says Lions win. Ryan, it's okay. Ryan, are you a Lions fan? I'm just kidding, brother. I'm just kidding. I am just kidding, man. I know we got to be realistic here, right? You can't say we're going to win every single one of them. But I think that we get the win at home this week. We have to bounce back. But I like to see that. I like to see I like to see different opinions than what I have and what other Lions have. You don't have to be sorry, Ryan. You don't have to be sorry at all. But yeah, if that's all the score predictions that I'm going to get for this week, then I will see you next week. Let's hope when I'm here on Tuesday talking to you like every Tuesday at 5 p.m. Detroit time, 4 p.m. Central, 2 p.m. West Coast. I hope that we're talking about a Lions victory and that we're 2-1 and that Gibbs outperformed Bijan Robinson so everybody can stop worrying about Gibby, okay? Okay. Ryan, for sure, man, for sure. All right, well, until next time, everybody, my name is Nick with Touchdown Detroit Lions over here on Syndicate Sports Detroit. I will see you on Tuesday with hopefully some good news. Peace out, everybody.
Touchdown, Detroit